So did you really think I would give up on making Diablo 4 videos? Absolutely not. I have returned with a bunch of official news and responses from the dev team, and yes, I'm going to give you an update about my demonetized Diablo 4 videos. And guess what? I'm taking your advice and I'm starting a Patreon because I'm not risking it anymore, so see that link in the description below. More on that in a moment. But yeah, fans discovered a live-action Diablo 4 trailer that is currently unlisted on the Diablo official YouTube channel. If this doesn't get you hyped, I don't know what will. I'll throw this in the description below as a link so you can check it out for yourself, but I'm sure it's going to go live here shortly. Also, it looks like the Blood Knight was data mined from Diablo Immortal China, but will we finally be seeing this Blood Knight appear in Diablo 4? There's been rumors that we would be seeing that type of class potentially appear in the future. We have got to dive into that and talk about it. Plus, those data mines revealed some new concerns about PvP. We're going to talk about flagging versus unflagging and balance issues and much more. Plus, we have a data mined map to discover and new descriptions about the regions. It's really, really cool. But yeah, first and foremost, about my demonetized Diablo 4 video, I have to say to you all, I was shocked by the love and support I received yesterday. I had no idea that type of support even existed in my community. I cannot thank you enough. And yes, this whole issue with having videos demonetized has me thinking about my future big time, trust me. And a lot of you guys suggested, hey, yo, start a Patreon. And it got a lot of support, this comment right here, and it got me thinking that, yeah, I think it's time. I'm going to start a Patreon. I'm not going to risk it anymore. So yes, in the description below is a link to my Patreon, and I'm going to be offering brand new exclusive videos about open world games I cannot cover here on YouTube. And also I will be covering Diablo 4 as well, and there's going to be behind the scenes looks as well. And I hope to maybe even do stuff with my girlfriend where we review games and have fun. So I think that would be a fun place to explore other variety type content beyond what I'm doing here on YouTube, because if I post that stuff here on YouTube, it would mess up my algorithm horribly, trust me. But yes, if you are interested, check it out in the description below if you want to join the Patreon. And I will also be taking your feedback very seriously out on Patreon and expanding it based on what you guys want. So yeah, check it out. Thank you all so much for the love and support. And if you don't want to join the Patreon, hey, it's no big deal. Sit back, relax, and watch the video. It's like completely optional. Don't worry about it. All right, so let's keep going. Check this out right here. Yes, marketing for Diablo 4 is really ramping up. This is incredible. It says the Lilith wall is almost complete. Look at this massive artwork. Can you imagine stepping outside and seeing what? Is this like a 5-story tall piece of artwork right here dedicated to potentially one of your favorite games coming up here, Diablo 4? So yes, that is really, really cool to see. All right, so also some official stuff here from the dev team. We have Adam Fletcher, who goes on to say this right here. He says, launch guide blog will hit later this week with information on preloads, launch times, and more. Diablo 4 will be in player hands next week. Awesome. So yes, we will get a full-blown new blog very, very soon. I have you guys covered on that one. Also, we have this one from Gerald, who says, players might be forced to take a break from slaying demons for a day or two before the official launch on June 6th. Wait, what? Never. You can't make me. And he's referring to this right here. Check it out. It's a new article that was posted. It says the Diablo 4 early access period starts on June 1st. This is everything that we know about. Now it says, however, the early access period does not last up until launch, as the edition's webpage claims the early access period will be up to 4 days. Players may be forced to take a break from slaying demons for a day or two before the official launch on June 6th. Now, that made a lot of people wonder, wait, what? Is this actually true? Please tell me this is not so at all. Now, Rod Ferguson did reply to this and thankfully did confirm this right here. That's incorrect. Early access does lead into launch, as per my pinned tweet. There's going to be no break whatsoever from early access to the launch of the standard edition of the game. It's not going to be like you're going to be forced to take 2 days off or what have you. So just know that's actually going to be the case right there. So no worries. Now, furthermore, we have this right here. It says, I found this article at videogamer.com. Does this mean that all items we found within a season do not carry over to the main campaign? Or is items, in this case, related to some special stuff that is only usable in seasons? And the quote is this: having a clear message and theme all sync together to tie together a season in Diablo 4 makes a lot of sense, as these individual seasons won't be replayable once they're over. Items will not carry over to the main campaign, or to another season, and that caused a lot of concern, of course, and the reply is this right here from Joseph Papara. It says, only the special stuff only found in seasonal mechanic content. So that's the stuff that will not be carrying over. So they have very special new gameplay stuff that is themed around the season's story or what have you. And that they are going to have their own quest lines as well to introduce us to those new gameplay mechanics. But those are going to be very specific to each individual season. Now, they did say that they might return as permanent features if it's highly requested enough. But they want to keep each season exciting, you know? I guess you would kind of compare it. I hate to compare it to this, but I guess you would kind of compare it to what Fortnite does when it changes up the map or what have you. And they make it very special, like, hey, you want to be here now because we're not going to be returning to this ever. So that's kind of the lore of getting into a season. At least that's what I think, that's what they're thinking. All right, so furthermore, we have this one right here. Do bosses have stagger cap, or do they build resistance to being staggered somehow? Thinking about viability of damage to chilled and frozen in boss fights. And the reply is this: it does get tougher to stagger bosses repeatedly, so be warned. When you're in boss battles, it's not going to be just as easy the second time, third time, as it was the first time to stagger that boss. So the more you know. All right, furthermore, we have this one. I love the Nemesis random popping up in Diablo 3. Can we expect to see the Nemesis return in Diablo 4? And the response is simple. The Butcher is now your Nemesis. So that's the system they're going with now. And remember, they really want to expand the random encounters, like this Nemesis type system in Diablo 4. So I'm so hyped to see what they do post-launch to bring us more Butcher-style encounters. So yeah, so curious about that. Now, we have this right here. It says, Capstone Dungeons are the pinnacle of World Tier 2 and World Tier 3 to determine if you're ready to move on to the next level of difficulty. Does this mean they are strictly solo only, or can a higher level friend carry you through it? And the response is this: a higher level friend can carry you through it if that's what you choose for yourself, but you'll know what you did. I love that reply so much. Yeah, you know what you did. But let me know if any of you are actually going to do that or not. But yeah, I guess I would say perhaps it would be best to try to avoid that. Anyway, let's keep going because there was some really cool data mining going on regarding Diablo Immortal. And you're probably scratching your head wondering, hey, how does this relate to Diablo 4? Well, you got to remember previously there was some recent leaks about some merchandise for Diablo 4. And it led to the fact that we would be getting some sort of Dark Templar. Or the theory was, guess what? A Blood Knight. So check this out right here. This is very cool. It says this: the new class revealed in the latest game files. I've managed to piece together a high-resolution image that clearly shows the Blood Knight while also highlighting the class's crest. Check it out. I love this artwork. Honestly, I do think this would be pretty cool to see in Diablo 4. We'll get into like how likely it would be to see in Diablo 4, but let's keep going here because we have this right here as well. Let's take a closer look at the image Blizzard posted a couple days ago, shall we? I found some more detailed images in the latest game files, and it all points towards the Blood Knight. Shadow Knight, presumably for China only. So this is apparently right now for the Asian region, currently for Diablo Immortal. So it makes me wonder if we would see the Blood Knight somehow appear in Diablo 4. It'd be very, very cool to see something like that for sure. You know, we're seeing more and more crossover content between Diablo Immortal and Diablo 4, and they're not shy about sharing that type of content. In fact, Shava is coming to Diablo Immortal, and they're doing a bunch of Lilith cosmetics as well, and a bunch of events related to Diablo 4 in Diablo Immortal. So I'm wondering when we're going to see a crossover from Diablo Immortal to Diablo 4. I do think that sort of thing will eventually happen. Now, the question is, what type of class is the Blood Knight going to be? So, according to Datamines, check it out, says this: for anyone wondering, let me zoom this out, whether Blood Knight will be intelligence or strength based, the game files say strength. So that's pretty cool, and you can see right here that they also have some intelligence stuff that's already out. But yeah, Blood Knight is in that list. Also, you can see Monk and Crusader. Now, what I think is going to be happening is we would be seeing the Holy Knight Crusader first as the class that would be introduced as the new 6th class in Diablo 4, simply because it's new and fresh. And then maybe in between, we would be getting the Blood Knight, some crossover content to keep us very happy, you know. I'm curious to see how you guys would respond to that. Then we would see some nostalgia stuff to maybe Diablo 2 to Diablo 3 as well. So I think they're going to keep this rotation of new, fresh stuff between nostalgia and then crossover content with Diablo Immortal. I think that's kind of the plan going forward when it comes to upcoming new class releases. Now, the biggest question is, when will this be releasing? And the response here is, I previously datamined July 13th as the release date for the new class. This was officially confirmed at Blizzard China, releasing this screenshot showing off the unlock date for 7/13 for this class. So that's just for Diablo Immortal China, I suppose. So yeah, I don't know how that would affect any upcoming release dates for, of course, classes for Diablo 4. That's going to be up to Blizzard. We have no information about that, and it's not even worth speculating. But yeah, we got to talk about this one right here. Check it out. It says Datamine Diablo 4 map with all dungeons, cellars, and Lilith altars. And there's something interesting about this because some people notice that, hey, it looks like this map is showcasing Datamined Lilith altars and dungeons that take place in the PvP zones. I thought for sure we wouldn't have to venture into PvP zones for all the content because I want that to be optional. At least that's how a lot of people feel. And you can see right here how extensive this map actually is. It's pretty impressive. I'll throw the link in the description below, but let's get into the replies and the concerns here, so check it out. It goes on to say this, looks like some dungeons and altars are going to be in the PvP zones. And we have a reply here. It says, it's not a big deal because you're not flagged for PvP unless you manually choose to do it or kill mobs in the area and try to extract the currency at an altar. So you'll never get ganked getting altars unlocked or running to a dungeon entrance. And a reply here that says, what are you talking about? When you enter the field of hatred, you could be attacked by flagged players even if you are not flagged. The response was confusion. Are you sure? Then what in the world is the point of the flagging? There is this option in the emote. Well, for PvP, what is it for? So check it out. It says, that's for a duel, I suppose. Flagging fields of hatred means you are hostile and can attack both flagged and unflagged players, which, by the way, is true. But if you are unflagged, you can't still attack hostile players, so you can defend or team up either other unflagged players. If you enter the field of hatred, you are basically risking being attacked by other players, whether you like it or not. So if you're not interested in PvP at all, just do not enter this zone. Are you sure of this? Tried and tested. And yes, it says devs talked about it in some videos. If you had to accept being attacked in this zone, that zone would be pointless. They specifically said if you are collecting dust or whatever they called it, you are risking losing it. So yeah, you can lose red dust in the PvP zone. You have to extract a certain, like, I guess you would call it type of currency in the PvP zone, and people can actually steal it from you. But anyway, that's besides the point. So yeah, there's a lot of confusion around what is going on with these PvP zones. So officially, what the devs have said is that you do not have to engage in PvP to get to the core content, which they consider the altars of Lilith and, of course, the dungeons. This is data mined information. Remember that. And data mined information isn't always 100% accurate. Now, when it comes to actually flagging players and being unflagged versus flagged, or having an honorable duel or what have you, this is all optional. When you enter into a PvP zone, just know it's likely that you will be attacked. In fact, the dev said that, hey, you know, it's not uncommon for teams of PvP players to gang up on each other. This is not a place of fairness whatsoever. So be warned. Be prepared, be on your toes when heading in. Now, when it comes to balance, this is an interesting post right here. PSA, Diablo 4 has a 93% damage reduction for PvP on top of other sources. So that's something that you have to always remember when heading into PvP, that, yeah, they're going to do some adjustment compared to co-op balancing versus PvP. And yeah, they hope to have it somewhat of a balanced experience, at least to a degree, but that's going to change when we get into the deep in-game experience, when everyone has really finally crafted their builds. From what I understand, it's really going to be more about what weapons you actually have and the unique abilities you can actually showcase in the PvP zones. But yeah, we have some really cool descriptions as to what to expect from the regions. This is brand new and apparently Datamined as well, so check it out right here. Goes on to say this about Skoshglin. Says, home to the Druids, this verdant and rainy land is heavily forested and borders the coast. Werewolves lurk in the thick foliage, and the new monster family, the Drowned, crowd the haunted coastlines, waiting to drag unsuspecting victims to a watery doom. Now, the dry steppes are also really cool, since the unforgiving, harsh environment of the dry steppes is home to only the hardiest or desperate souls. Be warned, the denizens of this land will do anything to survive, resorting to anything from petty banditry to savage cannibalism. Now, what about Kashistan? It says this, as we've seen from previous visits to Arkarnis and Caldium, the desert shadows of Kashistan make excellent cover for a group of rising cultists. They quietly plumb abandoned ruins, seeking power to aid the return of the ancient prime evils. So it seems like each region so far has some really cool, like, storytelling to it as well, which I think is really cool. Now, Fractured Peaks, we've been there before. The snowy and secluded, a sect of devout priests find refuge in the isolation of this high mountain range. They seek enlightenment while remaining unaware of the horrors that dwell in the dark cave complexes below. Now, Hauser's interesting. It says, witches and zealots call this snake-infested swampland home, scouring the murky depths for ancient artifacts. The unaware will quickly find themselves in dire straits. We've seen some of this stuff in the trailers with the big snake wrapping itself around the world. It's very cool. I cannot wait to actually hop into this and continue exploring and see what we have beyond the beta zone. All right, so yes, now it's time to get into your top comments from my most recent video, which, by the way, I cannot get over the love and support that you guys gave me about this one. You know, I said I felt like I've been robbed today, and truly, when my video, my #1 trending video out of the previous 10 videos, was demonetized, it's gut-wrenching. It's like all your work. It's like, wow, okay, someone comes into your channel and just demonetizes it. Now, some of you were like, hey, seems like this was an automatic system thing. No, this was personal. This was a manual review. Someone sat there, reviewed my video, and said, I'm going to demonetize you. And that's what happened, and that's why today I announced my Patreon, because I need to plan ahead just in case if this does continue happening. I really need to make sure I have it figured out. I want to keep doing this. I love doing this. I love covering open world games, and also responding to you guys every day and seeing what you have to say in the comments, which, let's get into that right now, shall we? So, scroll on down here, and we have this one right here from Lazy Latrick, who says, can't have Diablo violence, but we can have girls sucking on microphones. What a time we live in. Yeah, exactly. Man, I'm really sorry that happened. You've always had amazing content and a true joy to watch on a regular. The moment the video starts, it's already an instant like button. Smash. I know we all appreciate what you do, and please keep going. We're here for you. Like, literally, the comments are like this, and it truly makes me have, like, an emotional response. You guys have no idea. It was the most uplifting thing. I was so low when that happened to me. I felt so low to discover that my video was demonetized, and you guys truly lifted my spirits on a whole other level. I don't think you guys realize how much your comments actually meant to me. I hope you truly understand that. Then, of course, if we scroll down here, we have some more. We have Nightman, who says, hope this becomes one of your most top trending videos. Hey, you never know. Right now, it's being killed off slowly. That's what happens with my videos, by the way. That's a whole other issue. I won't get into that. But we have Greybush Gaming. He says, hey, man, I'm really sorry this happened to you. I've been enjoying your content. Stories like this have been part of the reason I haven't tried to become a content creator. Oh, man, you know, that hurts to hear that. You know, I say, if you want to become a content creator, do it for the fun of it at first. That's how I started. Make sure you're having fun. And then if it does roll into something more, then take it more seriously, which I did eventually do. But yeah, never stop. Never stop giving up. Never stop pushing forward. You got to have some real grit when it comes to this sort of stuff. Yeah, so I remember when I first started out, there were a lot of positive comments, but there were a lot of negative comments, like stuff that I can't even repeat here. And I wanted to quit so many times, but I learned to latch on to my support group, you guys. I learned like, wow, wait a second. I'm seeing people subscribing. Hold on. I'm seeing some positive comments. Let's tune into that. Let's focus up on what I need to focus on. You know what I mean? Now, I also noticed that you guys sent in some donations. Thank you so much for doing that. You did not have to do that. Chris Carter says, sorry to hear this. I enjoy your content a lot because of the quality info and presentation. Also, I love your interaction with the community, so here's a small token of my appreciation for your work. And I saw a bunch of other donations. Guys, like, seriously, you're making me emotional. Thank you so much for doing that. And then we have this one right here. Lynn, who is this? This is actually my girlfriend. She ended up being one of the top comments on the video. She says, I don't get how YouTube can easily demonetize or put limits on how much money you can make. They need to get it together. I 100% agree. And one thing, like I mentioned beforehand briefly, is I noticed that a lot of my videos that end up trending like crazy are just blatantly removed from recommendations and even the search engines. They practically do like 0 views an hour. And I go, wow, that is harsh, because these videos have like the most watch time, the most click-through rate. And like you hear YouTube saying, hey, you know, you'll be rewarded more and more if you have higher watch time, click-through rate, and you do this and you do that, and you're like, you know, more response, more interaction, which I have been doing all of that. Like sometimes my watch time has doubled from the previous period, which is huge. So yeah, it confuses me. So 100% agree with that. But yeah, thank you all so much for the love and support on the video. Stay tuned here for Diablo 4 news and updates. I have you guys covered. I am not going to stop. I promise you that. But yeah, stay tuned for more, and I will see you all next time. Take care.